chosen one. What I want you to understand today is that sincere love does not come to make you afraid, hurried, or trapped in uncertain waiting. It comes to help you mature, find peace, and value yourself more deeply. Perhaps you are entering a season in which the present and the future seem to draw closer together, not because some mysterious event is about to force you to change, but because the choices you make today will gradually shape the person you become tomorrow. I have sent Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my goodwill, to accompany you in moments that require courage. Michael does not come to make you anxious about invisible things, nor does he use signs to control your decisions. His presence reminds you to remain grounded in what is right, protect the peace within your heart, and refuse to give negative thoughts the power to obscure the value I have placed within you. I know. There are times when you wonder whether somewhere in the world there is a person being prepared to build a home and a life with you. Perhaps you have dreamed of someone you have never met, felt a gentle longing, or prayed that one day you would be loved sincerely. These desires are nothing to be ashamed of. Wanting a companion, longing to be understood, and hoping to grow together with another person are entirely natural. But I do not want you to turn that desire into an obsession, nor do I want you to treat every dream, coincidence, or passing feeling as certain proof of a destiny already arranged. Love does not require mysterious signs to prove its worth. When a suitable person appears, what helps you recognize them will not be powerful emotion alone, but also respect, honesty, consistency, and the ability to face real life together with you. Perhaps somewhere, another person is also asking me to teach them how to love more rightly. They may not yet know your name or have ever seen your face, but they are learning the lessons a mature partner needs. They are learning to listen instead of only wanting to be understood, to keep promises instead of speaking impulsively, and to accept responsibility instead of blaming circumstances. Like you, they have emptiness, fears, and days when they feel inadequate. They may have prayed for someone who will not take advantage of their vulnerability. Someone who knows how to build with them, rather than seeking only the excitement of the beginning. Those prayers are not an invisible thread, forcing two people to find each other at any cost. They are signs that two human beings are learning to direct their hearts toward what is genuine, so that when they meet, both may possess the ability to preserve something good, instead of hurting each other through wounds that remain unhealed. I do not want you to sit still and wait for a stranger to appear before your life can begin. The person you may marry in the future is not the single missing piece that will make you complete. Before you become anyone's partner, you are already a person of value, capable of learning, loving, and creating meaning. Build a life you can be proud of even before anyone walks beside you. Care for your health, develop your abilities, preserve good relationships, work responsibly, and learn to enjoy ordinary blessings. When you live from a place of inner fullness, you will not seek love as a cure for every sorrow. You will enter a relationship freely, rather than through fear of being left behind. That freedom will help you love another person without losing yourself. The person who may enter your life is also passing through a journey of their own. Perhaps they once placed their trust in the wrong person, or remained in a relationship where words of love were not accompanied by respect. Someone may have made them feel that they had to prove their value continually, remain silent to preserve harmony, or abandon good parts of themselves in order to be allowed to stay. Those experiences leave traces, causing them to become cautious, doubtful, and sometimes unable to distinguish control from care. I do not rejoice when any of my children are hurt, but neither do I want them to define themselves forever by what happened. Freedom begins when someone becomes honest enough to name what is unhealthy, stops justifying disrespect, and seeks the necessary support to walk away. When I intervene in an unhealthy relationship, it does not always happen through a dramatic event. Often, my intervention comes through a moment of clarity when that person realizes they can no longer sacrifice peace to keep someone who does not value them. It may come through the honest advice of a friend, the support of family, a conversation with a professional, or the strength to establish a boundary. I may open a path, but they must still walk it courageously. Michael reminds them that protecting themselves from manipulation, insults, or emotional dependence is not selfishness. It is honoring the dignity I have given them. When a toxic door closes, what matters is not quickly finding someone new to fill the emptiness, but taking time to understand why they remained for so long and how they can avoid repeating the same pattern. The same is true for you. If you have passed through a relationship that exhausted you, do not rush into another love simply to prove that you are still worthy of being chosen. Allow yourself to heal. Healing does not mean forgetting everything or pretending you no longer hurt. It is the process of looking honestly at what happened, learning to name unhealthy behavior accurately, and recognizing your own responsibility without condemning yourself. Perhaps you overlooked signs because you hoped too deeply. Perhaps you remained silent when you should have spoken or stayed because you were afraid of being alone. I do not remind you of these things to shame you, but to help you understand that today's wisdom was born from yesterday's lessons. You cannot change the past, but you can choose a new way of loving. Your future partner, if there is one, must also learn patience. Lasting love is not built upon intense emotion alone. It requires time for two people to see each other under many circumstances, during joy, fatigue, disagreement, and difficult decisions. A mature person does not rush to turn initial attraction into promises beyond their ability to fulfill. They do not use grand declarations to conceal inconsistency. They understand that trust is formed through small actions repeated over time. Arriving when promised, keeping their word, apologizing when wrong, respecting boundaries, and refusing to use silence as punishment. This is what I want you to wait for. Not a perfect face or a story without trials, but a person who is willing to mature with you. Some people lose faith in love because they have given too much and received too little. They come to believe that opening their heart means preparing to be hurt again. Perhaps the person who will someday walk beside you has also wanted to abandon hope, not because they are incapable of loving, but because they are exhausted by unclear relationships. I do not blame them for their caution. I gently remind them that the past is not the whole future. Yet new trust cannot be built by denying wounds. It requires patience, self-respect, and the ability to recognize who is genuinely safe. If someone is not ready, do not try to rescue them through your love. Your care may encourage them, but it cannot perform the healing work they themselves must choose. I also do not want you to believe that meeting the right person will automatically remove every inner struggle. A good person may accompany, comfort, and support you, but they cannot carry every insecurity in your place. If you fear abandonment, You need to learn how to cultivate safety within yourself. If you remain silent because you fear conflict, you need to learn to express your needs calmly. If you tend to control, you need to understand that love is not ownership. Preparation for marriage is not only about finding the right person, it is also about becoming someone capable of loving maturely. When two people enter a relationship with this awareness, they do not demand perfection from one another, but they remain willing to correct and grow together. Perhaps you wonder whether that person is very close. I do not want you to measure closeness through time, location, or predictions. Near first means that you are becoming more ready. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you are drawing nearer. Every time you leave an unhealthy pattern, you are drawing nearer. Every time you forgive, while preserving boundaries, you are drawing nearer. The other person must do the same. Two roads should meet only when both people are free enough to choose, sincere enough to speak truth, and humble enough to keep learning together. I do not force love, because what is forced is no longer love. I guide, create opportunities, and give discernment, but each person must enter willingly and responsibly. While you wait, do not let thoughts of a future spouse cause you to overlook the precious relationships already present. Care for your family, appreciate your friends, help those who need you, and learn to treat kindly even those who cannot benefit you. The way you treat relationships today is preparation for love tomorrow. If you are gentle only with someone you want to impress, but cold toward your family, you have not yet fully understood love. If you continually demand to be understood, but rarely listen, you still have something to learn. Allow me to expand your heart so that love becomes not merely a romantic story, but the way you live each day. Remember that my protection does not mean you will never meet someone unsuitable. Often, protection is the discernment to recognize them sooner, the courage to leave, and the good people I place beside you, so that you do not return to what once harmed you. Michael stands as a symbol of that steadiness, reminding you that compassion does not mean endless endurance. You can desire goodness for someone while still refusing the way they treat you. You can forgive without continuing to give them permission to cause harm. You can grieve the ending of a relationship while still believing that closure was the right decision. Forgive those who pretended to love you when you are ready, not to erase their responsibility, but so that the pain no longer controls your life. Forgiveness is setting down the burden, not denying the wound. Forgive yourself as well for believing, hoping, and remaining longer than you now wish you had. At that time, you were trying to protect what you believed was love with the understanding you possessed. Now you have learned more. Use that new understanding to build a different future, instead of using it to punish your former self. My beloved child, beautiful love does not begin when two people find one another, but when each has already learned how to live sincerely. Become the kind of person you hope to meet. Someone who keeps promises, respects emotions, admits mistakes, knows how to listen, and does not run away when the excitement of something new gives way to responsibility. Do not merely pray for a kind person. Cultivate kindness within yourself. Do not merely desire another person's loyalty. Remain loyal to good values. Do not merely want to be loved completely. Learn to love without controlling, sacrifice without erasing yourself, and accompany another person without making them the sole center of your life. Now release all pressure to know exactly who will come and when they will appear. What you need today is not a name, a face, or a sign. but the peace to continue living well within the life before you. Be grateful for the lessons that have made you more discerning. Give thanks for those who sincerely accompanied you, even if they remained for only one season. Trust that a healthy connection, if it comes, will not require you to lose yourself in order to keep it. Whether love arrives sooner or later, you can still live a meaningful, compassionate, and complete life. I am with you while you heal, while you learn to trust again, and while you courageously release what has completed its purpose. Move forward without bitterness, without closing your heart, and without becoming naive. Keep your heart gentle, your eyes discerning, and your feet firmly grounded. Forgive, but remember the lesson. Hope, but do not rush. Love, but also respect yourself. Each day, become more peaceful, honest, and grateful. When you live in this way, no matter who appears in the future, you will be grounded enough to recognize goodness, courageous enough to refuse what is unhealthy, and mature enough to build love with a worthy person through sincerity, patience, and trust. My beloved child, a deep emotional longing may gradually be awakening, not to keep you trapped in vague expectation, but to prepare your heart for a connection more mature, sincere, and peaceful than anything you have known before. Perhaps somewhere, another person is beginning to realize that they no longer want half-hearted relationships, shallow conversations, or promises that lead nowhere. Within them, a gentle but clear desire is forming. The desire to meet someone before whom they do not need to hide their vulnerability, pretend to be strong, or continually wonder whether they are valued. I do not want you to call this feeling a certain prediction that a meeting is about to occur. I want you to understand that when two people begin longing for what is genuine, they move closer to the ability to recognize each other through discernment rather than temporary emotion alone. The person who may enter your life in the future may also be passing through quiet changes. They are beginning to examine the way they once loved, the unhealthy signs they ignored, and the way they tried to keep someone merely because they feared beginning again. What draws them now may not be a clear image of you, but a deep inner recognition that the love they seek must be different. They want someone with whom they can build, not merely someone who gives them a brief emotional thrill. They want to be with someone who listens, keeps promises, communicates through disagreement, and does not use affection as a form of control. This mature longing may make them feel as though they are being drawn toward something they cannot yet name. But remember that genuine attraction is not expressed only through missing someone they have never met. It is revealed through how they prepare themselves not to harm something good when it appears. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger and steadfast protector, stands as a reminder that courage must always walk together with discernment. Michael does not lead you to chase every powerful feeling or treat every coincidence as a sign of destiny. He reminds you to protect peace, preserve boundaries, and refuse to let dreams of love take away your ability to judge wisely. Some powerful emotions arise from emptiness, fear of loneliness, or wounds that remain unhealed. Other relationships begin gently and without great noise, yet increasingly reveal trustworthiness, respect, and stability over time. Therefore, do not ask only how intensely someone makes your heart beat. Ask whether they allow you to be yourself, respect your boundaries, bring clarity instead of chaos, and remain willing to walk with you through imperfect days. I know you may easily become captivated by the belief that this person is very near, thinking about you, and finding their way toward you. That belief may bring hope, but I do not want it to become a place where you escape from the present. You do not need to wait for an unknown person before beginning to live fully. Continue building a meaningful life today. Care for your work, health, family, and the relationships already present. Learn to enjoy a peaceful morning. Complete a small responsibility. Listen to a friend, and be grateful for what you have. A suitable partner does not come to rescue you from an empty life. They come to share a life you have already begun building through responsibility, joy, and maturity. The other person must also pass through this journey. Perhaps they are learning how to live alone without believing they have been abandoned. They are learning that being alone for a season is not evidence of failure, but may be necessary time to recognize what truly matters. They are beginning to understand that rushing into a new relationship merely to fill an emptiness often causes former patterns to repeat. Therefore, the excitement within them is not only the anticipation of a meeting, but also an awakening to the responsibility of becoming a better person. They may be changing the way they communicate, learning not to avoid conflict, acknowledging past mistakes, and building a more stable foundation for their life. All of this is more important than any romantic sign. Do not believe that preparation for love is taking place only in the other person. I am also inviting you to examine your own heart. Are you genuinely ready to be loved in a healthy way, or are you still accustomed to pursuing those who offer only uncertainty? Can you receive steady care, or does it feel too ordinary because you are accustomed to turbulent relationships? Sometimes, a person who has lived in chaos for a long time mistakes peace for boredom. They may consider someone consistent unexciting, while feeling drawn toward someone who continually makes them anxious. I want to heal the way you recognize love. Love does not need to make you lose sleep, doubt yourself, or wait continually for a message before knowing that you possess value. Right love may bring excitement, but its foundation remains safety, honesty, and respect. When someone is sincerely drawn toward you, they will not merely try to impress you, they will want to understand you. They will care about what you value, how you see life, and the experiences that have made you who you are today. They will not speak only about a beautiful future, but will willingly build the present through small actions. They will not rush to possess all your time, demand that you place them above every other responsibility, or make you feel guilty for needing personal space. A mature person understands that closeness is not created through control, but through freedom, trust, and repeated choices made each day. You also need to remember that not every excitement leads to a lasting relationship. Some people appear to help you understand yourself more deeply, reflect a part of you that remains unhealed, or teach you a lesson concerning boundaries. I do not want you to treat every meeting as destiny, and then attempt to preserve it at any cost. Allow each person to reveal themselves over time. Do not give too much trust, merely because their early words sound like an answer to your desires. Observe how they treat those who cannot benefit them, how they respond when they do not get what they want, and how they accept responsibility when they make mistakes. Someone may appear very gentle while pursuing you, but reveal their true character when refused. Discernment will protect you from confusing attraction with safety. If a sense of expectation is present within you, transform it into motivation to live more beautifully rather than allowing it to become impatience. You can prepare for love by learning to listen more carefully, speak truth gently, and respect another person's emotions without forgetting your own. You can practice resolving disagreement without using silence as punishment. You can learn to apologize without excuses and forgive without continuing to permit harmful behavior. These skills may not appear romantic in the way people often describe love, but they are what preserve a relationship after the first emotions become quieter. The other person, if they feel drawn toward love, must learn the same things. Perhaps they are gradually understanding that they do not need someone perfect, but someone willing to be honest. They do not need a person who has never made a mistake, but someone who knows how to correct one. They do not need someone who always agrees, but someone capable of disagreeing while preserving respect. Only when two people mature through such ordinary things does their meeting gain the possibility of becoming the beginning of something lasting. If one person only wants to receive without giving, or seeks the feeling of being loved without learning how to love, the relationship will struggle to endure, no matter how strong the initial attraction may be. I want you to release the pressure to search for signs in every dream, number, or coincidence. Such things may cause you to reflect, but they should not determine your future. Important decisions must be illuminated by truth, time, actions, and character. A suitable person will not require you to ignore the voice within merely to keep them. They will not claim that the relationship is destined, and therefore you must endure everything. Genuine love does not use the language of destiny to avoid responsibility. It understands that even when two people share a deep connection, they must still choose respect, healing, and the work required to build trust. Perhaps you have been disappointed because previous encounters did not lead where you hoped. You believed you had come very close to love, but then everything fell apart. I do not want you to consider those experiences completely wasted. Some relationships taught you what you can no longer accept. Certain people helped you recognize that beautiful words are insufficient without action. Some separations showed you that you had neglected your own needs for too long. Receive the lesson without preserving bitterness. You do not need to carry the faces of former people into every new encounter. Someone new deserves to be seen with discerning eyes, but not through endless suspicion. The awakening of genuine emotional attraction does not make you weak. It opens within you the ability to hope again without losing awareness. You can desire love without making it the only source of happiness. You can open your heart without giving another person the power to determine your worth. You can feel deeply while preserving boundaries. This is evidence of maturity. Your heart remains gentle after everything you have experienced, but your eyes now see more clearly. I do not want pain to make you closed, nor do I want hope to cause you to believe every promise too easily. I want you to become both gentle and strong, willing to wait while continuing to live. If a beautiful meeting is drawing nearer, it does not need your panic in order to occur. You do not have to search anxiously or force yourself to become someone else in order to be chosen. Be genuinely present in your own life. Go to places that agree with your values, build healthy relationships, participate in activities that help you grow, and allow others to see who you truly are. Lasting love often begins naturally, in places where two people have time to observe and understand each other, rather than only through emotionally intense moments that make both believe too quickly that they already know everything. I also want you to understand that someone who is truly ready for you will not merely feel excited. They will act responsibly toward their emotions. They will not turn longing into boundary violations, demand commitment too quickly, or treat rejection as an insult. They will understand that love must be freely chosen by both people. If you are not ready, they will know how to be patient. If you do not share the same feelings, they will know how to respect that. Mature love does not possess, coerce, or place a burden upon another person merely to satisfy its own emptiness. My beloved child, let the hope of a future partner inspire you to live more beautifully rather than causing you to neglect the present. Become the peaceful place you hope to find in someone else. Speak sincerely, keep small commitments, and learn to love your family through genuine presence. Release the habit of diminishing yourself in order to be accepted. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve to return, but because you deserve freedom from the weight of resentment. Forgive yourself for the times you tried to keep someone who did not want to remain. When new love comes, do not enter it carrying a long list of fears. Bring wisdom, but allow the past to remain in its proper place. Give the person time to reveal who they are. Give yourself permission to move slowly, ask questions, and preserve what matters to you. Do not rush to promise what neither of you yet understands. Allow affection to grow upon the foundation of friendship, trust, and respect. Good love does not need to burn so intensely that it destroys everything around it. It may be like a lamp carefully protected, warm enough to give light, and steady enough to accompany two people through many different seasons. Now return to peace. You do not need to know exactly when that meeting will occur. You need only live, so that when something good arrives, you possess enough discernment to recognize it, enough freedom to choose it, and enough maturity to preserve it. Be grateful for the present days, because they are preparing you in ways you cannot yet fully see. Continue learning, healing, and loving. Courageously release what no longer fits, but do not lose hope. If someone is gradually being guided closer to you, let them meet a person who is sincere, peaceful, and able to respect themselves. Until that day arrives, remember that you are still loved, still valuable, and still capable of building a beautiful life through every kind choice you make today.